Welcome back to another video on the channel, guys. We're going to do a quick Ballon d'Or reaction. We have all the rankings. We watched the stream together today. It was a lot of fun, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to upload a ton over here. Just has to do with my health and my energy, guys. It's got to go first, unfortunately. But yeah, Dembele wins the Ballon d'Or. Do I think it's deserved? Yes, I do. I think he played on the best team in the world last season. PSG were an absolute joy. You know, there's arguments. People are like, well, was he the best player on the team? He was very good. And Dembele has improved so much. It was his best season ever. You think about his career where he goes from Dortmund to Barca, and you're like, wow, is this guy a bust? And then, man, he just goes crazy with Enrique. I mean, it's really crazy to see how he's transformed because he has turned into playing the best football in his career. But, man, PSG, what a team this season. You know, you look at, like, the Ballon d'Or. They had Nuno Mendes, Donnarumma, Hakimi, and Vitinha and Dembele all in the top 10. That's how dominant these guys were this year. I mean, they basically did everything except the Club World Cup, where Chelsea took care of them. But, you know, for me, the Ballon d'Or in the last couple of years, it's had deserving winners. You know, you look at last year with Rodri or Vinny, that was fine. This year, really, you know, Dembele, you know, people were making the case for Yamal, even though people think his PR put him to second, which is potentially possible. People making the case for Vitinha, for Pedri being the best midfielder. People making the case that, look, Salah and Rafinha had, like, literally some of the crazy statistical seasons that we've ever seen. Look, Hakimi, like, was, like, the best fullback statistically, efficiency-wise ever this year, like one of the best ever. So there was a lot of cases for this award, but ultimately it was going to be surprising to me if a PSG player didn't win it, and Dembele has the best case because Dembele's got the best stats on PSG, and he's so improved, like really is improved. So, you know, the Ballon d'Or, we look at the last couple of years, you know, I think Benzema's was like so deserved that year. Where he was just by far the best that season. And a lot of it is definitely dependent on team success. Like you look at even Messi. Messi didn't even get into the League on team of the season, the League on best 11, and then made a move to the MLS halfway through. But because of what he did at the World Cup, because that was the most important, because he got that done, he wins the award that year. So it's just, you know, the award is a little different. I feel like, because I felt like when I was growing up, this award was entirely down to like who was just absolutely the best player this season. So I feel a little for Rafinha and Salah. And I'm going to, you know, guys, these are opinions, you know, so I know people online get mad when you give opinions, but like Rafinha and Salah, and especially Salah as well. Rafinha, it has nothing to do with last season. I'm just talking about Salah. You know, like Salah, say what you want about him as a footballer, because I know that, including myself, sometimes I say, bro, this guy doesn't do anything for 80 minutes and then just chops up 3 goals out of nowhere, right? That's kind of how Salah goes. And then sometimes he'll have the games where he's going nuts. Hot and cold player, right? Say what you want. He has had 3 of the craziest statistical seasons. This season, the one a while back, and then one of the other seasons in between, right? And he's just, unfortunately, he's played football in the wrong era, in my opinion, because you look at those statistical seasons, if you were to put Mo Salah in Ballon d'Or rankings or stuff, we're talking maybe before that Messi Ronaldo era where those two guys were just untouchable because they were getting, you know, Messi having 90-goal seasons and stuff, you know? So I feel hard done for those guys because I want to show you this real quick. I don't know if I have the graphic for Salah here because they literally just went so crazy. You know, this season, guys, what Salah and Rafinha did. Rafinha had 56 goals and assists, got 2 trophies, right? Gets to the UCL semifinals. You know, Liverpool wins the Premier League, and he has 57 goals and assists, right? And it's nothing against Dembele, because look at the statistical season for Dembele. 35 goals, 14 assists. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely, absolutely phenomenal, guys, the season that Dembele had. So I'm not saying it's not deserved. I'm not here to say that. Congrats to Dembele. What I am saying, you know, for me is that I just feel like I feel a bit for, I want to pull this up. I do feel a little bit, guys, for, where's my graphic? Did I lose my graphic? I do feel a little bit, guys, for Salah and Rafinha for playing in this era because what they did this season statistically, to get them 4th and 5th behind Lamine Yamal, behind Vitinha, it's tough, man. It's tough, you know, and I'm in the camp that I think Yamal is going to be like kind of the guy for this decade. Like I think Mbappe is the guy for the decade after Yamal, and people forget Yamal is 18. I don't think Yamal is overrated. Do I think some PR got him second? Absolutely. But do I think he was most of the last season a best player in the world if it wasn't Mbappe? You know, if you were to tell me who are the best players, Mbappe obviously would be way higher than 7. It's just the season he had. So, you know, regardless, I think last year, Rodri, was it deserved? Yeah. Absolutely. Was Dembele deserved? Absolutely. But I just feel for those two. I wanted to put on a video because the seasons they had, specifically, I said just a minute ago, Salah too, because Salah's had a couple of these now, and it just feels like because, Liverpool don't either do enough in the UCL or, they do that one season, but he doesn't end up winning it. It feels like Salah just doesn't even get really considered. It felt like maybe they gave him that fourth this year over Rafinha, just out of what he did in the Premier League and record-wise and them winning the Prem. Rafinha, I have to say, guys, is definitely one of the most improved players with Dembele I've seen. Like what he has done going to Barcelona, and what he did that season. Oh my goodness! But guys, in the end, for me, PSG. When you look at these rankings, right, just too dominant to not have a player from PSG winning the award, and you can see the dominance in Vitinha getting third. And Vitinha really, I think, hired his ranking as the season went to a close. I think because of the way he played as the season went, that's why you see Vitinha at third. Let's break some more of this stuff down. So, guys, first thing that really struck me here, how is Michael Olise at 30th? Guys, I think Olise, you can make the argument that he was a top 3 right winger last year. I mean, right winger, I think he was top 3. So him at 30 to me is a joke. I don't know how VVD with the season that Liverpool had is 28. VVD is 28. Man, that feels a little crazy. I think Dumfries did very well. Obviously, we saw he was pretty much the reason they got into the final. Fabian Ruiz behind Jude Bellingham? Fabian Ruiz last season, I mean, I know the PSG glaze is going on here because of how they did. How is Fabian Ruiz at 24? That doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? For how good he was last season. Man, Scott McTominay leaves United and is at 18th. Oh, my God, man. It's McTominay. Guys, McTominay was a dude that we were laughing about because Ten Hag was pulling up the cup finals with this guy playing striker. McTominay, man. Mick Sauce goes to Napoli's 18th. Vinny at 16. Gyökeres at 15 with how many goals he scored. Gyökeres actually got the Gerd Muller Award. Desiree Doué at 14, which is crazy. So look at Yamal and Doué, really young players, already breaking into that caliber. You got Kane at 13. For how many goals Kane scored? Do we have the graphic? Kane scored 34 goals in Europe's top 5 leagues, and he gets 13th. Salah with 47 involvements. That's what I'm saying. Look at Salah, man. That's what I'm saying. They disrespecting Salah, bro. I'm telling you, this guy's never going to win one, and I think he's past it. I think that was his second prime. I don't think Salah is going to give us a season that he just did last season again. It's just too tough what he did. Okay. Rant time. How the hell is Pedri 11? I tweeted this today too. Bro, how is Pedri 11? It's not recency bias because for some reason all the Premier League fans have discovered from watching the Newcastle game that Pedri is insane. I've been glazing Pedri for the longest time. You guys all say I'm a Barca fan. Bro, this guy Pedri is so fucking good. I don't know how he's 11. That to me seems crazy disrespectful as well. I would have definitely liked to see Pedri at least in the top 8. Somehow get him in there because he is that good and he was that good last season. And then, you look at the rest of the rankings. You got Nuno at 10, who is honestly unbelievable all season outside of that one game against Chelsea where, tactically it just wasn't happening. And then you got Donnarumma at 9, who, guys, look, for me, people will probably say Donnarumma is overrated on here. That's not true. Bro, what Donnarumma did, how many saves he made to make sure PSG were able to keep going in the Champions League. He is the reason, in my opinion, the most vital reason, it was the whole team, but him specifically, that they were able to play in a freaking Champions League final, man. The amount of saves, Villa, Arsenal, I mean, these saves were insane what he was doing. So, keepers will never truly get the respect in the rankings, but Donnarumma had a hell of a year, man. And it's funny because Alisson, I think, was probably number 2 in the Yashin Award. He's not even in the top 30. So they only put one keeper in the top 30. Palmer at 8. What do you guys think? I mean, Palmer went for a stretch last season where he didn't really do anything for 4 months. He did do very well to close the season. I think some people will definitely say that Palmer's a bit high here. But again, another really young player that's super high up here, which means I just think football is heading in the right direction. And look, Palmer, regardless, for me, will definitely be in the top 15. He was really, really good towards the end of the season, and maybe there's some value in the Club World Cup there. I don't know. Mbappe at 7. It's crazy that Mbappe is going to be probably in the top 10 every single season he plays football. It's crazy that last season people perceive it as bad, and it was his worst statistical season, and I think he still had like 45 goals and assists or some crazy shit. So what a guy. And then, as we said, I think Lamine Yamal, I think when it comes to Yamal, guys, it's kind of one of those where like people think Yamal is PR, but he is super special, and I can see why he got 2 for how he did last season. I think really that semifinal against Inter is probably like one of the reasons, how crazy he went, and obviously what he's been doing for Spain. I'm not against it, but I think congrats to Dembele. I think Dembele did really deserve it. I wanted to pull this up too. Like, this is just for you guys to understand for me. When it comes to Rafinha versus Dembele, like, it's just, man, Rafinha statistically was so crazy last year. That's what people like are missing. And the fact they put him 5, I'm just like, him and Salah, man, they were in the worst, not the worst, the wrong era, man, to win this award. Because I just think now you need to win pretty much like the majority of trophies to get this award. It seems to be the award, which I'm not saying Dembele is undeserved. I'm saying it seems to be the best player or the best statistical player on the team that is perceived the best or the most important competition that season. So just going forward, I knew Dembele was going to win. I start looking on Twitter, people saying now it's going to be a surprise. I should have just known he was going to win because he had the best stats and PSG was the best team. Yamal had 39 goals and assists last season, which I think actually surprised some people. I think people think it's less. He picked up a lot of these at the end of the season. And then what else here? I had that graphic. And yeah, guys, so let me know what you guys are thinking, man, based on this list. Like, what do you guys see that pisses you off? I don't know. Is there players here that you're just like, what the hell? Who invited this guy? Another year of the Ballon d'Or, and congratulations to Ousmane Dembele, guys. He's now a Ballon d'Or winner. Can you believe that? This was a guy that, I was using in FIFA like 10 years ago in Dortmund, had all this potential, goes to Barca, doesn't really work out, starts to get injured, be called a flop. Man, now he's winning a Ballon d'Or. Crazy. Him and Rodri, the last 2 Ballon d'Or winners, man. Nuts to see. Congratulations to Dembele, and let me know your thoughts.